that tradition.
My clock
punctuality,
shows
right? I
10:30.
mean, it's like IIT Madras, right? If you go late to the class, you won't be allowed inside, right? So let us start in time. I don't know if it is true now, because now IITs have all changed. I talk about our good old times.
I think my watch shows 10:30.
Okay, then let us start.
We'll get started, CNC.
Yeah, okay. Now we're also waiting. Okay, now number of participants is also hit at 300. I was waiting for at least 300. Now it has come. Okay, now we will start.
I request all of you to go on mute. Good morning, all. I request all of you to go on mute. I'm able to hear the echo from one of your. Yeah, thank you. Good morning, all. Welcome to the launch of the industry-centric delivery theme for this edition of PALS 21-22. Our sincere thanks to all the stakeholders and supporters of PALS to have joined us today for this session. A quick recap on the protocols. All of you will stay muted through the session. And during the question and answer segment, you can use the raise hand utility to get yourself unmuted to interact with the speakers. Alternatively, you can also raise your questions in the chat box. Same is applicable for the viewers who are viewing it on YouTube. You can post your questions on the live chat there. Kindly make sure to register and mark your attendance. I have posted the link in the chat box now. We will also have a quick poll or a flash quiz and request all the participants to stay attentive and participate in that poll. Your opinion matters a lot to us. At the end of the session, as always, we will collect your feedback. Kindly take few minutes to share your opinion on what you felt about the session. Thank you. And I now invite Mr. P.V. Mohan, our PALS chairman, to address the gathering. Over to you, PVM.
Thank you, Sujata. Respected management, faculty and students from PALS partner colleges, esteemed industry partners, and especially those who are in the panel today, Mr. Rajiv Narayanan from Elite Industries, Karthik from Ashok Leyland, Shekhar from Tube Investments, Venkata Subramaniam from Tube Investments, Sudarshan from Buddy, Vasan Sampath from Lister Tech. And a hearty welcome to Professor Srinivasan, who is in charge of industry relations from IIT Madras, and other IIT alumni and PALS team members. It is indeed a great privilege to place on record today the completion of a decade of PALS service in the realm of giving value-added engineering education to our partner institutions. This could not have happened without the support and cooperation of our partner institution colleges like yourselves. It has indeed been an unforgettable decade for the PALS team. We also have a deep sense of gratitude to IIT Madras, as well as our industry partners and IIT alumni resource persons who have made this PALS project a great success over the years. It is nothing short of a miracle for a group of IIT alumni volunteers who form the core of the PALS team for having sustained the PALS operations for so long, with nothing else other than a strong commitment and motivation to give back to society. We are happy to say that the PALS initiative is only growing stronger and stronger, and we are very optimistic about the future. A big thank you to Alamelu, the founder chairperson of PALS, and Mohan Narayanan, our erstwhile chairperson, as well as other chairpersons in the past, for having visualized and sustained the PALS vision with their strategic acumen and ability to motivate the PALS team. It would be appropriate for me to present before you a dashboard of PALS activities in academic year 2020-21 in a nutshell. We had 27 partner institutes, 23 active industry partners, 8,285 students and 1,731 faculty were touched at some time or the other during the year, despite 100% virtual mode of event delivery. 250 hours of events. Some of the new events we introduced last year were hackathons, career guidance, and PALS Cares and Shares sessions. Over 71 internships were offered, and event metric collections systems were improved for continuous improvement of the PALS initiative. I now take great pleasure in unveiling the 11th edition of PALS. Our theme for academic year 2021-22 is PALS Bridge for an Industry-Centric Experience. It is in this context that we have this very appropriately named Industry to Institute launch event today. PALS have always conducted events in collaboration with our industry partners in the past, mainly in the form of industry visits and FDPs. Over the past years, we have also focused on increasing the number of internships. We are all aware of the mutual customer-supplier relationship, which is shared from industry to institute and vice versa. For the academic year 2021-22, we in PALS decided to give this relationship a new meaning by playing an increasing role as a catalyst. Our plan is to create a sustaining partnership model with some key industrial partners who are willing to collaborate with us in a series of events throughout the year and encompassing some or all of industry speaks lectures, analyze case studies, industry visits, hackathons, internships, and many others. We are also looking at our mother institute, IIT Madras. We are already collaborating with them on many events. And we have put in a dedicated team in PALS to try and focus on IIT Madras and see how can we get more benefits for our partner colleges by coordinating with the various facilities which are available in IIT Madras. And it's really great to have Professor Srinivasan also a part of this event today. We are very thankful for some of our key partners who have spared their time and are available with us today to talk to us on what they propose to do for our partner colleges. Thank you all for your time and enjoy the event. Over to Sujata.
Thank you, PVM. Thank you for the introductory speech, and we will now just have a quick recap of what events happened in the PALS 2020-21 in form of an audio. So PVM had summarized a couple of metrics saying we had over 250 hours of events. So we have tried to condense it and try to make a capsule of a 10 minutes video. So sit back and enjoy this video to know the depth of events that we had conducted last year. I would start the video now. I just want a quick confirmation from one of you to show that to indicate that the video and audio is fine.
PALS was founded in 2012 as a motivational
I hope it
lecture
is
series.
fine.
It is a voluntary initiative of a bunch
No,
of
Sujata, we
PhD
can't see the
alumni
picture
at
full
Chennai
screen.
from different IITs. After a decade of service, we are now stepping into the 11th series. PALS is now an engagement that
We are only
covers
hearing
all
the audio
stakeholders
clearly.
in the engineering educational ecosystem. To deliver
You're not able to see the full screen?
I'm not able to see the screen at all. I think that's a different window. So you'll probably have to share your desktop or something so that everything is visible.
Or you have to put all tabs so that you move to the
We are
screen.
seeing your PC screen, Sujata.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption.
PALS was founded in 2012
Now
as
it's
a
okay.
motivational lecture series. It is a voluntary initiative of a bunch of preeminent alumni at Chennai from different IITs. After a decade of service, we are now stepping into the 11th series. PALS is now an engagement that covers all the stakeholders in the engineering educational ecosystem. To deliver over 69 interventions in a year to students, faculty, and management of its partner institutes in South India, PALS actively networks and taps into a resource pool from the industry partners PALS of PALS and IIT Madras, our mother institute. PALS helps the institutes to deliver students as industry-ready engineers, responsive and responsible citizens, and to foster faculty who are productive, positive, and passionate leaders in their workspace.
First of all, my good wishes to Professor Gangadharan on behalf of all of us. This is his brainchild, the entire VLab model that we are trying to bring to the table.
So today we are looking at PALS intention and virtual labs experience, putting it together. PALS Partnering Institute, how they can get benefited much beyond the normal virtual lab association is the point of discussion today. Now the question is how to acquire experiential learning concepts during this difficult time with no additional expenditure. I'm sure, and we are dreaming about a lab and a learning management system in such a way that lab and learning management system should be at my place, depending upon my space. It should be able to adopt. That means at my pace and depending upon my convenience of time. If I am a Rakshasa, very active at 12 o'clock and later in the midnight, I should be able to do things. So this is one part of our dream. A lab and an LMS at my place, my pace and my period.
It's a first of its kind ever being attempted anywhere in the country in that direction. And we have the blessings of IIT Madras in that. What I would call as a brilliant opportunity for all of you to take advantage of and be a part of the India success story.
A special wanakam to our esteemed panelists who actually need no introduction because of their inspiring track record speaks for itself. The Indian Civil Service, for part of the 19th century, officially known as the Imperial Civil Service, was the elite higher civil service of the British rule.
Aspects of the issue. I will like to tell you that having an engineering degree does help, and it's not a disadvantage. It is an advantage, that is what I will say, as will be the advantage of any other degree also. So I feel that
a lot of us, as Gagandeep was mentioning, end up in states other than our own. I also, like Gagan, belong to Punjab, but was allotted Tamil Nadu, like him, and we have to learn the language of the state you are allotted to. You have to learn its culture, its ethos, and become assimilated with the state. Most of the All India Service officers have to serve in states other than their own. So this is a reality. All of you must realize that this itself is a huge change, and therefore
also shows how we started in reverse from the customer, work backwards to define what all technologies we need to innovate, and consequently, what are the key risks? How do you retire those risks before you make the prototype? All of those things came together in this project. Okay. So I hope this also drives home the point that even for a simple consumer application where product is already there, but there are issues, right? Even there is scope for innovation. But then innovation, as we originally said, has to start from the market. Ask the market what is wrong with what product is there today. Hence, what can we innovate? And that dictates the entire technical concept, that dictates how we will proceed to solve it. And just like the previous example, we did short loops where we did like scale down models and all that to prove that there is a solution to this concept. Then we could finally scale up, make the full prototype. And there are again a multidisciplinary set of skills that go into this.
Welcome to the second Faculty Student Development Program by IBM. This is the second in the series. We have completed the 4 half-a-day Faculty Student Development Program on project management yesterday. On behalf of
this initiative being driven mostly by IIT Madras, obviously the target audience has been colleges around Madras.
We spoke to multiple doctors. Each one said many things. We wanted to understand this, and our vision was, that is the reason why we named the company as, now it is renamed as Twin Health. Initially, we named the company as Twins Digital. We wanted to understand, we wanted to do the same thing. Build a digital version of every human. In car, sensor was easier. Tracking was easier. In human, how could we do it? And what was it that we wanted to do? When we deep dived, spoke to hundreds of doctors, that is where we found out that the actual root cause of many problems in the healthcare sector was the damaged metabolism and diabetes. We picked up that. We started to work. We started to work very, very aggressively. And that is where Twin was born. So how did we do it? Put basic sensor in the patient's body. 3 to 5 sensors, not more than that. 3 to 5 sensors, depending on the body's requirement, we put sensors and a digital version of every individual.
Okay, so the next one is, what do I do if I'm stuck between passion and the need for a career?
Brilliant question. Okay, please understand, if you don't have food, your mind can't think. Passion is about having that, your mind is thinking without looking at the watch. If you don't get salary, you can't pay the rent. Will you have time to think peacefully, or will somebody be knocking at your door and keeping on disturbing? Or you will try to run away from the house so that your house owner doesn't see you, right? So that all depends on where you are right now. If you can afford to be taking risks, take risks, right? I will always advise taking a job and saying, I won't do this job because I don't like it, is the most selfish thing to do.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. So that's the, in a nutshell, what happened the entire of the last year. So we would like to get some comments about the video and what you have seen in the chat box. We will not mind that. So please go ahead. And I now hand it over to CNC to take the session forward. Over to you, CNC.
Thank you. Thank you, Sujata. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can.
Vanakkam and good morning to everybody who are all here today. My long name is C.N. Chandrasekharan. I am an IIT Madras alumnus. I think we are all eagerly waiting for the discussion from industry partners. PVM very well, our chairman PV Mohan very well set the stage. Before we start the session, I just wanted to share a very relevant but small piece of information. It's a huge information. It's very relevant to our discussions today. In the last 7 years, India received $375 billion as foreign direct investment. FDI inflows were of the order of close to 28 lakh crores. What does it mean? Now, the initial assessment of this investment meant the identification of 55 job roles across 155 skills. So here is the question: how are the students going to acquire all these skills to play the job roles? They are learning engineering in classrooms from their faculty. Is it enough? No, it is not enough to play these roles. Play these roles, one has to see what is being done in engineering field, feel them, touch them, do some of them themselves. So that is the relevance. Today, we are going to hear from our eminent practitioners from industry. What are the firms offering to the academic world in this context to acquire skills that are required in the industry-grade skills? Let's listen to the industry partners today and see what you have to take away from this session. So we have people from IIT Madras, our mother institute, from core engineering industry, and also information technology industry. So we have close to about 7 people to talk, and we have limited time. So I will be keeping the time, and I will be respectful of whatever our eminent partners are going to share today. But please allow me to keep the time and stop and move on to the next session of the day, right? So to start with, we have MS from IIT Madras. MS Srinivasan is a chemical engineer from IIT Madras. He has spent several years in chemical industry, spanning a variety of functions such as manufacturing, technical development of processes from lab to plant scale, and execution of large capital projects. He worked for a variety of industries such as chemicals, fertilizers, power generation, pharma intermediaries, desalination, and water treatment. Wow, what a long list of industries. His work experiences with both family-owned businesses and professionally managed companies which have different demands of day-to-day functions. In the last 7 years, he's with IITM as advisor in the Center for Industrial Consultancy and Sponsored Research, ICSR, providing support for collaborative research and development work between faculty at IIT and interested companies. He runs a course on preparing for an industrial career at the Department of Chemical Engineering. Who else can we think of? Somebody from the industry who has come to academic world to teach and connect the industry with institute. I request MS Srinivasan to share a few words for this audience here. Over to you, MS.
Thank you, CNC. I will just take the share screen mode for a minute. Yes, I have also started my own timer so that I remain within the time. As is everybody, these are cricketing time, so I would start with an analogy. In T20 cricket, it's very clear that you have 20 overs and either you get in and hit or get out. So looking at the packed agenda and the number of speakers, and I think I have been given 10 minutes, so I will try to complete it in 9 minutes. In fact, I had an easy choice. Late yesterday evening, I received a summary of the kind of questions or expectations that the typical audience, students especially, had. I went through that, and then I realized my presentation is actually superfluous. But instead of stopping there, I would still go ahead and try to do justice to what I had to say. I have about 6 or 7 slides, so I'll spend some time on that. Now, as I said, the primary large number of audience is the final year or pre-final year students, I presume, from various engineering colleges. We also have the faculty members who are helping the students prepare. And on this side of the dais, figuratively speaking, are my colleagues from industry who are ready to share their experience. So I would therefore have my short message for all the 3 audience from IIT Madras perspective. Okay. First thing is, everybody is in their mind, I am now finishing an engineering degree, and what do I do next? And typically, people like to know what kind of a career options exist. I would start by quoting my dear Professor M.S. Anand. He clarified the role of engineer as one who makes stuff that God forgot to make. I thought that was very interesting. Look at the kind of things that you take for granted today as you wake up from morning till the time that you go to bed. And you realize that probably 99% of them did not exist as recently as probably 50 years ago. And all of them have been made by engineers like you and me. To that definition, I would like to add, especially if you are looking at a career from industry, that's not only career growth. If you're looking at a career industry, the 4 additions they have made is that you are, of course, have to make stuff that someone is willing to buy. And sometimes there are more than one person who are willing to make that same product. And that you have to keep it in mind. That's the context in which an engineer works. And secondly, the product that you make should also work for a reasonably long period of time, especially in economies like India, like economies. We are not use and throw, hopefully not. And therefore, we expect that the product performs for a reasonably long period of time, and that's part of the engineer's responsibility. And this is the third one is a recent addition, realizing that a consumerist economy like this can land up its own problems. So whatever we make at the end of its useful life, there must also be a way of safely taking care of it. And of course, all this is under the most important criteria that those who are engaged in making and selling stuff also want to see at the end of the day some surplus for themselves. Now, that's the industrial career, and that's not the only career, as I said, is some of you are also interested in getting into academics. And for you, I would find saying that the role of the engineer in academia is to try and reveal what God has hidden in the nature. And that is seen by a large number of papers these days. Everybody says mimicking nature, mimicking stuff like that. So that's the 2 kind of a thing that the engineer does. If you look at the evolution of the profession, and I am speaking from a historical perspective, engineer's profession always started with doing things, which means basically you had an idea and you started tinkering around, you experienced it. And those who wanted to practice the trade, therefore, went and joined somebody who was already in the trade as an apprentice, and by observing and doing and subsequently innovating, the profession grew. After some time, it was recognized that a better way of doing things would be to put everybody together in a sort of a classroom situation, where you provide the unifying theory for the various principles, and then go on to life to practice what you want to do. But important thing is that the experience is very essential apart from studying and learning in classroom. And after graduating, I think some of you would be interested to join the companies, like I said. And these days I hear about core and non-core, being if you are an engineer of a particular discipline, if you wanted to continue in the same discipline, it's called core, I understand. And sometimes it's possible, and I do encourage that you should also consider getting into other areas, which is non-core. And the companies can be owned by government. It can also be owned by non-government. And increasingly, I think, unlike the olden days, my times, where the government job was a great attraction. Now there are very interesting opportunities, more number of opportunities in non-government sector as well. Academics, of course, is definitely an option for some of you. And if you do higher studies, probably at the end of the higher studies, either still you will decide to go work for a company or still take up academics. Very few of you would also have in you that you want to do your own stuff, and therefore startups, your own running businesses, etc., is also a career option. Now, for the students, one question comes is, in order to get a job, what is the role of internship, and where I think PAL is playing a very significant role in this. Sometimes an internship, when you study, can be a prelude to the job, but don't limit yourself only to internships during the study time, because by definition, then the term of internship is very limited duration, and that may not be very interesting for the potential employers. But if it is seen as prelude to a job, and define internship as anything that you are willing to sort of take up in a working environment, there are a lot of opportunities coming up.
Where are you?
Sorry, there is some background noise. So, to get the most out of internship, if you do get one, my advice would be to realize that the major change will be that unlike in an academic environment for which you have been trained all along, there are hardly anybody who will tell you what to do and how is it important, and therefore there won't be any teachers there, I'm sure, excepting the rarest of rare. And therefore, it's mostly up to you to take advantage of whatever internship is offered to you, what is the best use that you can make out of it. That's a very important life lesson. For those who are academically inclined, I think this is something which I can speak with some confidence because I have seen both sides of the world. The academic world is also highly competitive, and that's something that we should realize. So the terms of competitions could be very different, but it is whatever general principles apply to competitive industries, companies, etc. To a large extent are also applicable, even if you choose an academic career. Now, PALS, like I said, has been a decade of experience trying to help various students in their journey of transiting from education to employment. And there are several options I am sure that they are coming out with, and sure, depending on your interest and inclination, you can choose what you like. As far as IIT Madras is concerned, and here I am trying to address the third of the audience, which is my colleagues from industry. There are several resources available from IIT Madras, depending on your interest. From the students' perspective, possibly, I can suggest a few, which is we have centers of excellence. These are interdepartmental facilities, which are funded by various agencies, where we take up developmental work. Developmental work means that you take a concept and try to make a model, physical model, prototype, and so on, so that the functional performance can be tested. So there are a few centers of excellence, and in these centers of excellence, there are projects opportunities where you can come and test out your skills, knowledge, and also learn a lot. And of course, the opportunity of higher studies is always available at IIT. For those of you from the commercial organizations present here today, I would like to add that there are good opportunities in IIT Madras for intellectual property creation, for sponsored research projects. So I wouldn't go more into that, excepting this has been in existence for, I think, ever since the time I was a student. But now, for the last 10 years, there has been a completely, different focus in becoming more industry responsive, and it is also encouraged by the Ministry of Human Resources. So there are opportunities for IP creation is what I want to find out. And this is my last slide. This is something, the first of that is a catchy thing that I noticed when I joined my first job. That's one of the reasons I joined the company, because I rather fancied that catchy word. It is true. Future really belongs to those who seek it. So there is a lot of future ahead of you. So please decide, depending on your interest and inclination, what you want to do and go after it. And please make use of the best available PALS network to plan career for you. I wish you very well and success in that. I think I have taken about 9 minutes also, so I will stop here, and I would be happy to take your questions at the end of the session, where there is a Q&A session. Thank you very much for your listening, and thank you, organizers. Over to you back, sir.
Thank you, MS. That is a very nice short 10-minute speech. You started with Dr. Professor MS Anand, brought nostalgic memory. When he was the IIT director and our professor as well. We started with God and ended with internship and what PALS can offer to students and faculty community. Thank you very much. And we will move now to Mr. Karthik Atmanathan. Karthik is currently Senior Vice President at Ashok Leyland, as well as Professor of Practice at IIT Madras. He is also a fellow with the Principal Scientific Advisors Officer. So Karthik is yet another person, who is, playing roles of institution as well as industry. Very appropriate to have him for this kind of thing. At IIT Madras, is developing and launching a web-enabled multidisciplinary MTech program in mobility, as well as starting various projects jointly across academia, industry, and government. He is also deeply involved with the Government of India, industry associations, and academia to improve e-mobility related R&D, skilling, and innovation. At Ashok Leyland, he has played several roles and has helped Ashok Leyland win many awards in the mobility space, for e-mobility space, for innovation. Prior to Ashok Leyland, Karthik was a successful entrepreneur, promoting, developing, managing, and selling his business and time-making, product engineering, and IT domains. So we are very pleased to have you, Karthik, for this session. Over to you. You have 10 minutes. I will probably, ping you when you're past 9 minutes. Over to you, Karthik.
Thank you, CLC. I think I was about to request that you ping me 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Thank you very much for that. I think most of what I have to say is focused on the faculty today. So I guess for the students, we can probably have something else later. But a few key points is, first of all, I'd love to have the academia and the students understand that there is no one consistent industry. There are different people inside an industry, a company, many departments, and even in the same department and the same person, their priorities will keep changing with time. So their scenario changes, their performance might be very good and they'll be able to do something for us. Sometimes performance will be very poor at a company level. So you need to understand that there is no steady, predictable model with industry. And so there is that much more dependence on a dynamic approach by the academia. So let me give you some idea about what Ashok Leyland is doing very quickly. First and foremost, after I started my sabbatical, we have been providing extremely close non-financial support to academia. This is in the form of domain knowledge, where academia is not yet, there are certain pockets where academia has not really been working. So we provide domain knowledge there. We provide network there, mostly in the area of creating course content or finalizing lab facilities or support, conditional letters of support for projects so that they can go in for funding either with other industries or with the government. We have also been funding specific projects in e-mobility and many other areas, but of late predominantly in e-mobility. And we nowadays prefer to have very clear deliverables and timelines before the whole activity starts. As Mr. Srinivasan was saying, the academia approach has changed drastically in the last 10 years, and there's much more focus than what it was earlier. We do a few lectures by our senior or rather technical people, whether it's in manufacturing or whether it's in sourcing or engineering or quality, technical presentations and lectures. And shortly, we'll be starting internships for faculty through PALS. And probably the next 2 to 3 months, we will do pilots with just a few members, and we will see and we will tweak it and then launch it more formally and in a larger scale. But this is still some time off, and we are evolving the details of how it should be done. We are not very clear. So we will keep you informed as there is progress through PALS. We'll also be doing much more through PALS. One will be expert sessions like in other colleges. There will be people from industry who will be able to have expert sessions with students or with faculty or both. And we'll be participating in the Innova initiative at PALS, etc. We are also keen to start student internships and industry visits, etc. But right now, we felt that we will postpone that till this COVID mess gets sorted out. And we also get more traction across our company to start engaging in a larger framework with PALS. So we've been a little prudent and a little conservative there. In terms of expectations or ideas or whatever, I can tell you one thing. I saw it in the list of questions also. Nowadays in industry, we believe that attitude and passion will typically have knowledge and experience for breakfast. So there is absolutely no doubt that attitude and passion is the expectation these days, because if this is provided, the knowledge can be acquired by that individual. So my first recommendation would be that those colleges which are able to, you start a 1-credit course for industry seminars. I think this is a good way of putting pressure on the entire system. The faculty have to bring in people, and the students have to engage actively. Otherwise, their grade will not be as good as it can be. So this is a good way to approach. I think a few departments in IIT Madras already have this, and I believe it's a great way to start. In fact, I was very impressed with what PSG Tech was doing with Danfoss, where they have a new course. They identify a new subject, and then they have a new course which is launched, but it is conducted by industry guys. But they do it just for 15 days, and it is a 1-credit course or a 2-credit course. After 2 such sessions, after 2 such courses, from the third time, the institute faculty take over, and they prepare much more deeply with more research and more content, and they convert it into a 3 or 4-credit course. It's a very nice arrangement that PSG has, and I would recommend all colleges to follow that, because it's a fail-safe method of bringing in industry participation, but more importantly, new knowledge and domain for training. The other request would be that you give more importance to MSMEs. Don't get stuck with large corporates. There is a massive amount of knowledge and a lot of commitment and a lot to learn from MSMEs. I myself was running an MSME for close to 17 years. And I know that what I learned as an entrepreneur in 3 months is worth close to about what I learned over 1 year in a large corporate. So you learn much more when you're on your own. So my recommendation is that you engage heavily with MSMEs, the local small scale units. I also saw a few questions about industry has to tell us what, etc. Industry definitely has a lot of things to do. And if you want to find out something, you need to get off your seat and actually go and meet people and keep meeting. More or less like marketing. You know, if my sales engineer tells me that the customer is not telling me that he has a requirement, he gets fired. His job is to go engage with industry actively and treat that as part of his career and as part of his job. I would recommend the same. Please engage with industry and start small. Don't start immediately at a large scale or with large companies. Start with small people. It will grow. Most important, and this feedback also came from the management team in PALS. Before you go, please read, research, prepare. understand where this company is, what they are doing, who is doing what, etc. All this information is fairly easy to get. If you don't prepare and you just go on a visit for discussions and you don't have any specific points or agenda prepared in advance with them, jointly with the industry person, very little will happen. So you will say, I made 6 visits, but nothing happened. But we need to look at that as a failure, and we need to be much better prepared. We have to do our research, make sure that we know what we want. We also know what that guy is capable of giving us, right? I mean, just to give you an example, we probably have, let's say we have 100 faculty members here. I'll be surprised if more than 5 of those faculty members know the R&D budget of Ashok Leyland last financial year from the annual report. Now, that is the kind of information you need to have. And this is available as open domain knowledge in the websites, in the annual reports, right? So this is important. And when you go to the industry, please remember that he has an agenda. He's not there for social service. Most of these are struggling employees with a lot of tough targets, and they are hard pressed for time. They have their own agenda. So if we have to get something done with them, we have to necessarily offer something in return. There is no doubt about it. And it need not be money. You can offer him some project work, which is going to help him crash his timeline in one of his projects. But there has to be some give and take. It cannot be give, right? So we need to understand that, and we need to go sit there and discuss as equals and make sure that there is a fair amount of give and take. Probably you can start doing very small micro projects free of cost to allow that guy some flavor of your competence and your commitment. And then the next one, larger one, you can start asking for getting paid, because sponsored projects are the way academia's business model works. But businesses are basically very simple. We have only growth and profit as the key objective. And this is not wrong. This is why businesses are created. And in our own selfish interest, we engage with academia and get work done. But it is a selfish interest. It is predominantly for the sake of achieving your medium and long-term goals that we go to academia, right? So my most successful academicians I have seen are the academicians who are able to conspire, literally conspire with specific managers in industry, and they develop a good pipeline of projects and funding. And
Karthik CNC here. Karthik CNC here, your timekeeper friend.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, 10 is gone. In 1 minute.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's actually 10 minutes past. 10 minutes. I didn't want to interrupt, but 10 minutes past.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me just finish with one point then. I think it's important that you keep bringing in new methods in teaching. I think it's important that you give the students much more experience on the real world. These can be done very, very economically inside the campus itself. You should encourage peer learning, because students need to understand how to collaborate with each other. And over the next 2 to 3 years, it will be good if you can work with industry and structure a very organized internship program for the students. I'll stop there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Karthik. It's wonderful. We started with the faculty program for internship for faculty. That's excellent. And also you gave a piece of advice for students to develop passion and to be having a good attitude. Excellent. And I think we'll get a chance to interact during discussion session where we'll take also some of the questions. Thank you so much. And now I invite 2 senior members from TI group, Mrugappa group, Mr. Shekhar and Mr. Venkata Subramaniam. Shekhar is a metallurgical engineering graduate from REC Trichy. He has about 25 years of total experience in areas like project management, new product development, application engineering, business development, and general management. He has been working with Tube Investments of India for 20 plus years, and most part of the work experience is with international business development, dealing with global OEMs, auto component manufacturers. Shekhar is currently heading the exports business unit of Key Products of India, division of PI. Welcome, Shekhar. Venkat is a graduate in physics and MBA HR, PG, diploma in personal management and industrial relations from Madras School of Social Work. Venkat has 20 plus experience in HR areas, talent acquisition, organization restructuring, competency development, skill enhancement for blue-collar workers, employee engagement. He's with Murugappa Group for around 15 years, learning and development, organization development. Thank you so much for making it today, Shekhar and Venkat. Over to you. You have 10 to 12 minutes because two of you have come. We'll actually probably tell you when 10 minutes are up. Over to you.
Venkat, unmute, please. Venkat, you need to unmute.
Venkat, are you able to unmute?
No, I think he says no.
You should be now.
Yeah, yes. Am I audible and clear?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Good morning to students and professors from various colleges, my industry peers and senior people from IIT and PALS. First of all, we would like to thank PALS for this association and look forward to have long-term mutual benefit, as Mr. Karthik rightly mentioned some time back. I'm Venkat Subramanian, along with my colleague, Mr. Shekhar. We represent TI, which was started sometime in 1949 as part of the Murugappa Group and expanded to various businesses as we are now. And we as an organization are looking forward to exponential growth in the years to come. So in the next 10 to 12 minutes, we will take you about our organization, business expectations, and what offerings we can provide to the students community. Next slide, please. So we as an organization, we have our philosophy which states that whatever transactions we have with anyone, we will ensure they gain so that we will also gain. So with this background, we are here ensuring that our association with PALS as well as with the student fraternity is going to be an winning thing for them so that we also win as an organization. Next slide, please. We as TINs, we are guided by our values and beliefs, which is shown here in whatever professional as well as personal decisions we make. So we follow the 5 lights, which is stated as the integrity and the desire to win, and also supply whatever excellent and best product we can give to the customers. At the same time, treating all our people, even at the lowest level, we treat with respect and be a socially responsible citizen as an organization. So this endeavor to associate with our colleges, we too follow this particular value. So as an organization, we revisited our vision, and the vision of TI is, can you move the slide? Yeah, the vision of the organization is to build a globally admired Indian engineering company, creating stakeholder delight. So here we work towards achieving this vision by having a strong, can you move the slide? A great talented pool, which has got strong both leadership team as well as different subsets of the leaderships, and also a committed employees at different levels. Next. We have strong customer base, both Indian as well as global. Next, with diverse businesses, with wide range of products, with reliable business partnering with various customers. We have a very strong brand, which is present nationally and internationally. Next slide, please. We look forward to like a lot of diverse businesses. We are present in B2B, B2C, catering to customers, both direct consumers as well as to the OEMs and dealer distributors, both within India and in overseas markets. We have organized ourselves as organization into different divisions and views, which is based on the products or processes or the customer basings. Next slide, please. We are present pan-India with about 21 manufacturing locations under these above whatever views I have just shown, supported by warehouses, regional offices, and sales offices. Next slide, and I would request Mr. Shekhar to explain the business context.
Yeah, thank you, Ankit. See, most of these slides here, maybe about 4 or 5 slides, basically to address the student community, because we thought that would be relevant for this occasion. To give a sort of a big picture about the manufacturing sector as such. I mean, there was a question about what are the opportunities with the manufacturing sector. So we thought we would basically address those questions as well, very briefly. So the manufacturing sector in India is basically the pillar for the economic growth. If you see today, there are about 30 million people are engaged with the organized manufacturing sector. And the Indian government has a very ambitious plan to push it to create 100 million jobs in the next couple of years, which means 25% of the GDP would come from the manufacturing sector itself. Then India also developing itself as a potential global hub for a lot of manufacturing activities, like the developments of Make in India, Skill India is also pushing this initiative towards that direction. So we are already leaders in areas like pharmaceutical, textile, and the automotive component industry, robotics is all picking up. As somebody said, export is a foreign direct investment also flowing in, and there are a lot of exports going out of India. So it makes it's a potential global hub. When it comes to the competitiveness, India has all the key ingredients which would make India as a very potential location for conducting the international business. We have a very young labor force, lot of government initiatives in the pipeline, the government investments, private investments, as well as the foreign direct investments flowing in. And also we have a very large domestic market, which makes India as one of the competitive landscape for conducting any business. Next slide, ma'am. So just to pick one area, like because as a company, TI, we are more interested towards the automotive space and the auto component space. So I thought I will give one example. So India is the largest tractor manufacturer in the world, and India is the second largest two-wheeler manufacturer next to China, and we are the second largest bus manufacturer, and fifth largest heavy truck manufacturer, sixth largest car manufacturer, and eighth largest commercial vehicle manufacturer. What it translates? It translates into a big auto component market space. For example, today the auto component space is estimated at $50 billion. $1 billion is equal to, for example, about 7,300 to 7,400 crores, depending upon the exchange rate. So $50 billion market is the auto component market. It is 365,000 crores, which is about 2 to 3% of the entire Indian GDP, out of which about 10 to 15% are going for the international space. So the Auto Component Manufacturers Association of India, which projects the next couple of years, this 50 billion US market will grow into 80 billion US market. So just see the growth. And I just wanted to also mention, when we say manufacturing industry or manufacturing sector, it doesn't stop at auto component. There are about 24, as per the National Industrial Classification, there are about 24 such field. I'm only talking about one field. Just imagine, it's about 300 billion size market. So we have ample opportunity for everybody to participate, provided we upskill ourselves. Next slide, ma'am. So just we talked about the opportunity, but we also should know where the manufacturing landscape is moving, because that is very important, very relevant in today's context. So just to give a clear idea, I have used a picture here. As you see, in the x-axis, you have technological advancement. In the y-axis, you see how the manufacturing value addition being happening in the world. You see China at the one corner, and for the discussion sake, instead of Europe Union, we can consider that as Western countries. So Western countries at one corner, China at the other corner, India is somewhere in between. So China predominantly looked at low to medium technology. So therefore, naturally, low to medium value addition, mass manufacturing. The Western countries predominantly always looked at high-end technology and high-end value addition. India was somewhere in between, but the things are completely changing now. Now, even countries like China or Asian countries, even Vietnam for that matter, Philippines, even Thailand, they're all pushing the technology forward so that they can basically participate in the global opportunity. So it is very important at this point, the Indian companies also basically push the industry 4.0, the initiative, like converting our legacy factories into smart factories, smart enterprises, working more towards IIoT, industrial Internet of Things, and analytics, how we can use analytics in the legacy organization, and how we can become as an innovation center, an innovation centric approach, how we can bring in so that we can also fast forward and catch up with the changing world requirements. Next slide, ma'am. So having said about opportunity and changing the landscape, we thought we thought these are the requirements of a budding engineer who would like to enter into any organization. For example, set of skills we have listed down here, like problem solving skills, learning skills, critical thinking skills, communication and technical skills. And you also see there are about 3 buckets. See, as an industry, what we are trying to do, we are trying to manage our present position. Okay. So we want, for example, we are market leader in some area and we wanted to manage that position to hold on into it. And as an industry, we also want to forget something. We wanted to forget our past. Why? Because the technology is changing rapidly. So which means we have to unlearn and relearn. So learning skills is very, very important in the industry at this point in context. And also as an industry, what you are trying to create the future. And we require critical thinking skills. Why again? Why again we require critical thinking skills? Most of the future is basically based on, most of the time we take decision based on insufficient data point. Like you will not have all the answers for the questions. You will not have all the data required to take a decision. But with what the available data, whatever the available situation presented in front of us, we have to take a decision, which means we need to have a critical thinking skills. So all these buckets, managing the present, forgetting about past, and creating the future, all these 3 buckets has to build on the communication and technical skills. When I say communication, it's not only the mastery of language. That is one part. When I say communication, it's about the clarity you bring in, because that is very, very important when we interact with the in the industry ecosystem. That again brings to the another skill, technical skills. Whatever be the area, whatever be the core area you are specializing, it's not necessary you have to master everything, but at least the fundamental has to be very strong so that you have the clarity. And with that clarity, you can communicate clearly so that you can think critically, you can engage yourselves in problem solving opportunities so that your learning ability improves. Next slide, please.
You have 1 minute, sir.
Yeah, Venkat.
Yeah, okay. As in giving it back to the society, as Murugappa Group and TA, we have been supporting different streams of students from various colleges through whatever areas we have mentioned here, like industry experts. We go back to the colleges, delivering lectures, supporting them, arranging industry visits. There used to be continuous in-person college students visiting our manufacturing plants, as we are present pan-India from different colleges, and offering internships and projects in the functional core areas. As in manufacturing area and having diverse products, processes, we as TA would be able to provide internships and projects in like core areas like metallurgy, material sciences, then core manufacturing, design and development of both existing products as well as automation of equipments and also new product designs. We also provide support projects in process improvements, production engineering. Also, when someone is interested in quality related improvements as well as assurance, and to support the electrical domain people, we provide support in terms of the automation projects as well as in maintenance fields. Next slide, please. So to conclude, I just read this somewhere recently. A talented person has a target that no one can hit, whereas a genius can hit a target which no one can even see. So best wishes to all the students to be genius in their respective domains. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shekhar and Venkat. for starting with message, catching them young and taking them global and giving a picture of global opportunities. Shekhar, it was very nice of you to put the chart showing China, India, and EU, European Union. It confirms the understanding that I heard from one seminar that India is getting for Industry 4.0, whereas China is still at Industry 2.0. Thank you very much, and we'll come back to you, for more discussions during Q&A. Now it is time for us to take a bit of a pause. We have been talking, we've been listening. I'll hand over to Bharani for running some quizzes, for a few minutes, 2-3 minutes. Over to you, Bharani.
Thank you, CNC. Good morning to everybody. I will be pasting a link in the chat box. Please click this link. It will take you to your browser. It is the Slido poll we have. Please stay in that browser. Please register yourself with your name and the email ID. We will be conducting a poll, a couple of polls actually. So that will be quite interesting for you as well as for us, giving some information. So please, I'll give you 2 minutes. So please, everybody, register yourself in this Slido. I hope you all can see the link in the chat box now.
Yes, Bharani, we can.
Okay, I'm going to. So once you are all registered, I will start the first poll.
I have posted this link in the live chat of YouTube also for the YouTube viewers.
Oh yeah, correct. Yes, yeah, all of you, or most of you, you are all welcome to join this and give your feedback.
It's an interesting poll.
Okay, I think you might have registered yourself by this time. I'm going to activate the first question. So we'd like to know about yourself. Please let us know who you are.
For the others, you can view the results in the Zoom screen also.
Yeah. I think we have predominantly we have students. That's a good thing.
69% of them are students here.
Okay, we got 150.
I think we can go more. We have more than 450 participants here.
Yes, I will give a few more minutes. Maybe they are still registering.
I think Bharani is good enough. I think it's 70-30, 70% student, 30%. I think that will be the trend.
Okay.
We can move on to the next one.
Thank you. I'll go to the next question. Okay. Okay, we would like to know which branch of engineering are you studying now? This is, it's a free text. Please type in your branch. Let's see how many of you are from different colleges, different branches.
Bharani, you want to give the, as the responses come, what is the significance of one being larger than the one text being larger?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the larger text, what you see is that's most of the students, the response has come. So that's a majority we are seeing. ECE, CSE appears to be.
Information technology.
Yeah.
Kannapiran sir, yes. I mean, you can say which department you are a faculty to. No harm. You're just getting the information on the discipline.
Yeah. Okay, good. I think we have pretty much an idea now. We'll go to the next one. Okay, what is your goal after completing your graduation? We would like to know about that, whether you want to be employed in a corporate or you want to start your own business.
This must be interesting for the industries. A lot of them wants to be employed.
Yeah, like Venkat said, they're all catching them young.
Yeah.
Very good. It's also interesting to see that start my own business is also a good percentage.
Yes.
Encouraging.
Yeah, that's good.
Like Karthik was saying, MSME sector, getting that experience is very valuable. Maybe some of the students heard Karthik say that and responded. Yeah.
In fact, I am Srinivasan here. Even if those who do post-graduation, eventually they will have to make up their mind whether they are going to be sort of, because post-graduation is just only a process. So I'm just keen to see what the final results are.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, Bharani, I think we got over 200 responses from students. Very encouraging. Thanks a lot for all the students.
Thank you. We'll take a pause. Yeah. We'll take a pause now. We'll come back towards the end of the session. Thank you.
Yes. There are some more quizzes. Stay tuned, please.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's a good break that we took from all the speeches. We had, IIT Madras. We had MS Srinivasan share from his perspective. And we had two interesting presentations from Karthik and Shekhar and Venkat from core engineering industry. As I said in the beginning, we had actually split it into two parts, core engineering and information technology. Now we are going to move on to information technology specialists, people who have come from the information technology industry. Excuse me. First, we have IBM. We have Purnima Iyengar from IBM. Purnima is part of the Global University Programs team at IBM India and leads the university relations for the engineering colleges in Southern and Western India. We can't dream of getting anybody else for this program. She's closely related to all the academic world. Through her vast experience spanning over 2.5 decades, Purnima has gained experience in key areas of information development, client engagement, and partner engagement. She has worked with global clientele across sectors such as finance, retail, and oil and natural gas. In her current role at IBM, Purnima is actively engaging with engineering colleges with the charter of building technology evangelism and creating employer brand among students. She is an alumna and a member on the advisory board for the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at NIE Mysore. She is also on the advisory board at BMS IT Bangalore and the Department Advisory Board at Tyagaraja College of Engineering, who is one of our partner institutes. As a stretch assignment, Purnima is very actively involved with the CSR team at IBM and is a program manager and also a volunteer for the STEM for Girls initiative driven by IBM India. We are thankful to you, Purnima, for taking our time and sharing what IBM has got in store for the academic community. Over to you, Purnima. You will have about 10 minutes.
Yes, thank you very much for your time. Good morning, everyone, and very happy to be a part of this event. In fact, very privileged to be a part of this event, which has the PALS management team that are senior IIT Madras alumni and, of course, my industry colleagues. Very glad to be a part of this. And what I'd like to use the 10 minutes for is to share with you all what IBM has as an offering to academia. Just to save on bandwidth, I'll get the video off so that I can start my presentation and take you through the offerings that we have. I believe the screen is visible.
Yes, Purnima, you can probably share it as a slideshow mode.
Yeah, I will. Okay, I hope it's better now. Right. So as CNC introduced me, I'm a part of the Global University Programs at IBM India and based out of Bangalore. We have a host of offerings for academia, and it was very nice to see that as a part of the Slido, outcome that there were lots of CS, IT, and ECE students, while the rest of the streams also will benefit from what I showcase. I think it's very important for these 3 streams to look at what I'm going to showcase today and actually onboard onto the IBM Academic Initiative. Right. So the IBM Academic Initiative is no-charge global access to select IBM technology. And this is across the technology tracks, cloud, blockchain, IoT, data science, AI, analytics, and all of that. There is cloud access that we provide via trial promo codes, and there are about 150 popular services that are available here. And students and faculty can register here and explore all the services on IBM Cloud that are available. There's no, it's a trial as long as your institutional email ID is valid. Right, that's the only ask. How do you register on this portal? The link is given right below, and you would need to register here using your institutional email ID. There's immense number of courses. There's a lot of content out there for you all to explore and take up the courses. Students can earn digital badges that are very popular, and they can showcase that on the social media that they are a part of today. And there are 40 plus software that are available for download. These are enterprise grade software with, of course, the basic features, and faculty can leverage all of this for non-commercial research. So this is the free charter that IBM has for academia, and it has humongous resources. I could just take a minute and walk you all through the portal, just so that you all get to see what it really looks like. Just give me a second. So is the IBM Academic Initiative portal visible now?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
Purnima, yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is how the portal looks like, and this is the register now button that you would see. You can register here using the institutional email ID that all of you have, right? And across technology tracks, as you see it over here, we have immense resources. And I think besides the IT streams, which is the computer science, EC, IT, ISC, whatever, these days, everything is interconnected. I mean, every other core engineering discipline would also need to leverage technology. So I would very sincerely encourage all the other streams of engineering students also who are present on this call, and faculty of those respective departments also leverage all of these, because the content here is very basic. It's self-paced, it's foundational level, and it's exclusively curated for beginners. So an understanding of what the technology is and how can it help you in your space is something that you're going to get out of this. So if we were to just go into data science as an example, okay, I would need to register to go in, but nevertheless. So there's a brief introduction about data science, and then all of the tabs for each of the technology are exactly designed the same way. These are the resources that you would have. These are the software that's available for free download, right? And these are the courses that are available for the students, and these are the badges that they can earn, right? So once you register, you'll find under the software, you'll find the download button activated. I'm not getting into that space right now. I'll get back to the presentation, but I just wanted you all to get a feel of what the portal looks like, right? So what is the next thing that we have for academia? Right at the onset of the pandemic, we started this initiative called Keep On Learning. And these are learn sessions, which we announce on a month-wise basis. And these are essentially push in nature. In the sense, our technical experts decide on topics that they want to take to academia, and enlighten them about where the industry is heading in that particular technology track or in that particular space, and give them a briefing about what is the interesting thing that's happening at IBM, right? So these are Keep On Learning webinars, typically done between Tuesdays and Fridays in the evenings, so that students have the time to attend these sessions. And I think most of the PALS colleges that I'm connected with do get an invite from me, and probably cascaded to the student community, and we do have a good attendance. This is across a host of topics. Besides technology, we also do leadership talks, career journeys, and overall development sessions as well. These are free. Students don't get anything in terms of either a certificate or it's not mapped to any credit or anything. These are simply login and learn sessions. right? So this is the Keep On Learning webinars that we host. What are the benefits for academia by way of these two initiatives? It's no charge access to a huge resource of information. I will talk about the Skills Academy, which is a paid engagement that we have to offer in the next slide. But we can look at the rest of the things that we have to offer for academia. Typically, when we try to engage with key academic institutions, we always have an executive sponsor who eventually is either an alumnus or one of the managers who chooses to pick up a college for a deeper engagement, right? And we will have campus-specific academic ambassadors for delivering sessions and handling the workshops and the guest lecture requests. We are a very small team, and just as CNC introduced me, I have a huge landscape to deal with, and given the number of engineering colleges in India, it's quite a bit on my plate. So we always leverage a pool of ambassadors whom we call as the academic ambassadors within IBM. These are volunteers who are willing to give back to academia as a stretch on their over their current role. So we leverage their time and efforts to connect to academia and deliver whatever the ask is, right? And we also have volunteers who are interested in being a part of the Board of Studies or would like to be adjunct faculty also, of course, subject to all the other processes complied with and then the protocols to be followed. Please feel free to reach out to me if there is any such requirement, because all of this from IBM is a give back to academia and it is no charge. So we are not allowed to accept any honorarium, neither are we allowed to accept any other kind of payment, either cash, kind, whatever, because this is purely a give back activity, right? We also have something called the Global Remote Mentoring. Those are experiential learning projects, and these are sometimes delivered through our partners. Sometimes we have it announced on our partner portal, and IBM Tech Mentors would announce short-term projects, which are about 6 to 8 weeks, and students can look up the portal, and I will share all of these things with the PALS management team, who in turn will cascade it to the respective colleges. Some of you probably already have it, but please cascade it further out to the student community so that they can go take a look, sign up for projects that they seem interested in. If the skill set that is asked there is something that they have, the tech mentors will then have conversations with them. Everything is virtual today, so these are WebEx meetings that happen. They will evaluate the students for their technical competency and onboard the students. Once the project is completed, I mean, there's a regular cadence between the tech mentor and the students to complete the project, and on completion, the students get a certificate of completion. There is no other promise made, right? Access to KOL webinars, that's what I just said, KOL is Keep On Learning. We also extend invitations to the events that we run at an India level. In fact, the IBM Hack Challenge 2021, which is a once in a year event, usually done mid-year. The registrations just closed on July 30th, and I think a couple of the PALS colleges who were in touch with me did get an invite from me, right? We also do a faculty development program from an IBM perspective, and invite faculty from colleges. In the past, it used to be an in-person, 5-day program at the IBM campus in Bangalore, but given that every one of us are off of our workplaces, we're doing this virtual this year, and I will definitely send out notifications to the PALS management team so that it can be cascaded further down to the PALS colleges, right? So the sincere ask is that you leverage the academic initiative offerings that are available for free, explore it once they are beginner level, and then if there is a further interest, you can always reach out to me for a deeper engagement. And that is what brings us to IBM Skills Academy, and this is a paid engagement from the Global University team. That is us, right? What is this?
You have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes.
So a quick brief on what the Skills Academy covers. This model works on train the trainer pattern, right? These are 80 hours courses across technology tracks comprising of lectures, labs, and innovation and use cases. The way we solicit nominations from colleges is there is a minimum requirement of at least 20 students signing up for a technology track, which means those 20 students agree to pay and sign up for the courses, which enables 2 faculty per technology track to be trained by our global team. And once these faculty are trained, they get practitioner certificates. They can go back and train the 20 students who have actually registered for the program. There are more details available on this portal, and I can share these links with the PALS management team, and who can in turn share it with you. So this is currently in discussion in terms of the pricing. So if anyone is interested, please feel free to connect with me, and I can share the specifics once we have all the formalities done at our end. Right. But as a first start, I think it's good for everyone to leverage the IBM Academic Initiative portal and make use of the resources that are available for each one of you for free. I did see a lot of questions in the PDF that Sujata ma'am had shared. Happy to take all of those questions either as subsequent meetings with the individual colleges and answer them in detail, or maybe by way of an email. And with that, I finish my bit in terms of a briefing on the offerings to academia by IBM. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Purnima. Sorry for rushing you through. I know that IBM has got a huge amount of things to give to academic world.
I can go on and on because I'm very passionate about this. But thank you.
We
definitely need timekeepers.
Yeah. So I think on a Saturday, getting so many people, we are respectful of time. But at this point in time, I also want to caution and seek permission from people that we may overshoot the time that we are, we may not close at 12:30. We need to be giving time to others as well. But we can't stop. I think it's very nice to know that there are IBM academic ambassadors, giving back to society at no charge, and we also have volunteers. Very, very thankful to all of those professionals. I think you are single face to all of them who are going to be helping PALS to reach out to partner institutes. Thank you so much, Purnima. Please stay tuned. We'll come back to you again.
Sure.
Now we move on to some of our industry partners who have been helping us with a lot of programs, particularly internship for skilling. We heard a lot about skilling all through the sessions today. And now I invite Vasan Sampath, the president of CRM Listed Digital Corporation, with extensive experience in a variety of industries and functions. Vasan has handled sales and engineering product development, has set up a greenfield manufacturing enterprise, co-founded a consulting firm, has implemented Salesforce CRM for large global players, has managed technology consulting and application development for clients. He's also a mentor and coach for team. Over to you, Vasan. We are pleased to have you today to address the student and faculty community. Over to you. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you. Okay, I'll share my screen, do a very, very quick presentation and overview so that you know who we are, and you have we are not a very well-known brand like IBM or Ashok Leyland, so I think it will be useful to have a little bit of an introduction. So you can see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, okay. So disclaimer, so who we are. So we are basically a US market focused digital transformation company. We focus primarily on what we call as customer experience and employee experience transformation. We are more of a consulting led approach when we do business with customers. We have very strong global delivery expertise. We bring deep technical expertise in the platforms we work with, like Salesforce, Oracle, Adobe, and a bunch of others, across what we call as marketing, sales, service, and e-commerce. We have long-standing relationship with many blue chip companies, and we have a unique framework by which we work internally as an organization. We are structured, which allows people to have a lot of interaction with leadership, and at the same time, give a lot of opportunities for growth to people. We are 100% management and employee-owned company, 350 plus in terms of size, and based primarily in Chennai with offices in the US. Quick snapshot of our journey. We started in 2000. We have not grown the way typical IT companies have grown. We have very little on-site presence. We have largely been offshore, but we have been working almost entirely with customers in the US. And we believe we have created a strong foundation for future growth and a premium kind of brand in the customers that we work with. What do? We do three things. From a focus area, we do digital marketing, we do CRM, we do e-commerce, and we do engineering as platform engineering. And we offer four kinds of services to customers. One is what we call as consulting, which includes strategic advisory, technology consulting, best practices consulting. We offer technology services, which could be platform implementations, integrations, some expert services around the platforms that you work with. We offer managed services, which is ongoing support and management for customers who are already using these platforms. And we do custom engineering and application development on these platforms, outside of these platforms, etc. And I think you can see at the bottom some of the kinds of platforms we work with, the kind of technologies we work with. So that's in brief about us as a company. And we believe we are at the cusp of what we call as a very, very accelerated growth. We are looking at expanding our global footprint through strategic initiatives and strategic partnerships. And we are looking to become a global tech company in the areas that we are working with. As PALS people have mentioned, I think we have started engaging with PALS this year and providing internship to students from various engineering colleges. We have an active campus program. We do go into most companies as a dream company. And this is an area where we're thinking we will do a lot more in terms of internships, in terms of campus hires. And we are thinking a lot about making this a very significant way to grow our business. I will now stop sharing my slide and I will talk a little about what we expect from industry, what we expect from the from students. So I would say that broadly, the areas that we look at is when we try to look for students or hire students, we look firstly at the ability to learn. And when I say ability to learn, I break that into what we call as understanding of theory, understanding of fundamentals, understanding of concepts, which unfortunately doesn't seem to be very strong in most of the students we come across. So I think that's an area to focus on. Understanding how to apply this theory to practice. I think it's very, very important to know how one can apply theory to practice and therefore become very good at the practice itself. I can go on talking about this, but I'm just stating what are the important things that we believe we look for when we recruit people or we engage with students. We expect people to bring great work ethic, which is commitment, accountability and responsibility, sense of self-discipline, integrity in terms of values, in terms of the way you think and work, in terms of commitments you give, passion for excellence. Right? We want people to think that they should do things really, really well. And whenever I do something, I must give it my best. I must see that I can continuously improve. These are the essential things we look. These sound like basic, but I believe like a lot of students today are chasing these dreams of disruptive technologies that you hear about, the fancy IoT, AI, ML, all the stuff that seems to be floating around. But I think there's a lot of while there is obviously room and excitement at that kind of work, there is also a lot of things that can be done at the very, very basic level of what services are being offered. How to be the best in what we do, how to be not considered as a cheap offshore IT services company where we are competing on price. How do we become the best in everything that we focus on? And you have seen this across industries, you've seen this across any kind of businesses. There are 1 million restaurants, but there are a handful which excel in what they do. There are millions of airlines, thousands of airlines around the world, but a few which excel in the service they provide. There are hundreds of and thousands of institutions in the country. There are some schools which offer a schooling and an education which is far superior to the others. How do these people do it? And how do they attract the best of talent, the best of, and deliver the best outcomes? I think that's a question a lot of you have to ask yourselves and say, how do we really, really become good at things that we do? And that I think is the essence of what I would say the academia here and the students need to keep introspecting and seeing, and the industry too, and how we are all going to build a greater country by focusing on the basics of getting to a space where we are really, really good at something that we do as a country. And there aren't many other countries who can do it as well as we can. I think that's the crux of what we all need to focus on. That's all I had to say today. I think I'll leave time for Q&A and others. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Vasan. That is excellent, actually. you shared your vision to become global tech company, and you also addressed some of the needs that are very critical based on the earlier sessions. Talked about campus programs and a lot more, and also you finally sent a message, how to move up the value chain from a mere cost arbitrage to value addition. Thank you so much. We'll come back to you during Q&A session. Now we move on to next speaker of the day from, again, information technology industry. We have Sudarshan Santhiappan. I think he is known to most of the people in this meeting today. Let me give a few words about him for the benefit of others who joined today for the first time, where Sudarshan is going to be talking to academic world. Sudarshan is Chief Scientific Officer and co-founder of Buddy.ai. He is an incisive leader with over 20 years of invaluable experience in leading AI research and development projects for end-to-end artificially intelligent product development, system software design, and development in assignments and deputations. He is adroit in managing the AI research and product development lifecycle. He is also a strong supporter of industry, academia, joint research, facilitating with his experience of successfully executing several research projects with premier academic research institutes. We are very fortunate to have him today. So busy with all his scientific work in the firm. Over to you, Sudarshan, for yet another PALS session. Thank you for coming again. Over to you. You have 10 minutes.
Sure. Thanks, CNC. Good morning to everybody. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here giving a talk to this esteemed crowd. Great. So I represent Buddy.ai. So we are a AI for healthcare predictive intelligence company, and we are afloat for the past 8 years, and we are a 450 plus sized company. I would say small sized company. So I'll cut to the chase. So why is AI hot? So that's a question I just want to put forth and probably give you a slightly different view of why it is sounding to be very interesting. So I'd listed 4 different pointers which I believe are making AI as a pick for today's younger population, if not everybody else. The first one is, everybody says, but nobody questions it. Everybody says that AI is the future. We don't understand it, but we just go by the wind. I mean, if everyone thinks AI is the future, then it should be AI. AI should be the future. See, that's the mindset most of us have. And in fact, AI leverages that. AI tries to model that and solve problems in that angle in a lot of use cases. So if AI is going to be the future, then can I pick AI as my skill to be relevant to the market needs so that I can stay afloat for a longer duration of time, right? So if I pick a skill which is only 5 years, which has a 5 years lifetime, then I have to reskill myself after or before 5 years. But let's say if I choose a perennial skill, then I learn once and I mint forever. Right. So this is one reason I think AI is very interesting today for a lot of people. And the second most important thing is, of course, the money. And AI practitioners or the so-called data scientists or let's say analysts are getting paid phenomenal. So there is a parallel to that. So let's say 25 years back, IT was exactly like how AI is today. So history repeats itself every 20 years. So during the millennium, 2000, 99, 99, late 90s, early 2000. So IT had a big boom, and people who went into IT got 5-digit salaries just like that, while everybody else was getting probably lower 4-digit salaries. My first salary offer was 7,000 rupees per month. And I used to look up to others who get like 13,000 rupees a month back in the 90s. Right? And getting a 5-digit salary is amazing back then. But today we are looking at 5 digits, 6 digits, and sometimes 7-digit salary offers made to fresh students out of college, which is kind of phenomenal. So there is a lot of money being made, or there is an opportunity to make a lot of money there. But if you ask this question, why are IT fellows paid more? If you ask that question, the answer is very simple. See, IT guys displace a lot of human labor. So whatever that took 100 users or 100 people to do a task, a machine, or not a machine, a software that was developed by a software engineer could do that probably at very low cost, right? And that's why the engineer who built such a software which displaces 100 human resources are paid more. And the extension of that is the AI scientist or the data scientist. AI scientists displaces human labor in the order of thousands, if not 10,000s, if not more than 10,000s. So that is why AI practitioners are paid phenomenal. So now the IT practitioners are jealous. There used to be a time when civil engineers were jealous of IT fellows, right? Electrical engineers were jealous of IT fellows. Now IT engineers are jealous of data scientists. Why? Because data scientists are getting paid 100x, 50x, 20x of what IT guys are getting paid. So forget the money part, but just understand the insight behind why somebody is willing to pay more, because they are able to displace a lot of human labor, which is very expensive, and in terms of time, money, and resources. So that's why that area is kind of very interesting. And finally, people also choose AI because you get to expose yourself to new challenges which others have not even touched, or others are not dare to touch. So you get a lot of opportunity to work with new challenges. That's why IT is kind of very niche, right? Today, it's kind of very hot because of these reasons. And generally put, AI practices, I have divided them into three different groups. The first one is the fundamental research, which usually academia is a king in that space. Premium institutions who does research in AI are the players of fundamental research. The second one is applied research, where people marry the technologies developed by academia and also find the different problems available in the industry, and they connect the dots. So these guys are pseudo academicians plus pseudo industry practitioners who knows how to marry these two use cases together to build amazing technologies, platforms, and such, right? So that's the applied research area. And the third component is the applications, AI applications. And in today's scenario, 90% of so-called AI companies belong to this category of applications. They have the ability to use a ready-made solution out there to build customer-facing products, which are AKA AI products, right? This is where most of the workforce is being pushed into, and a lot of companies are showing interest in developing AI applications because they are selling like hotcakes. Why? Because they are displacing people's manual labor in the order of thousands, if not 10,000s or more. But if you ask me where Buddy AI is positioned, we are on the applied research space. We create technology. We create AI technology. We don't apply existing technology created by others. We create technology. And we are different from fundamental research because time is money in industry. So in academia, you can work on a problem until you solve the problem, but you don't get that luxury when you work in a company setting because every minute counts. So we work in a constrained environment where we try to leverage the best from the academic world, the best from the industry world, and try to marry all of these together to build products, services, and platforms. And if such a technology does not exist, we go ahead and create it. So that's the kind of culture and attitude my guys or the fellows in my division are expected to have, and that's a culture we try to inculcate, right? So that's about the landscape in short. What are the various things, or what are the various characteristics that people who seek to take a position in applied research space are expected to have? The following are the items. The first one is, if you have the ability to convert your own idea into a working software. So I'm not asking you to say you should be an excellent programmer. I'm just generically putting it, abstract sentences. So if you have the ability to convert your own ideas into working software, you are already eligible to take a stride in companies like us. The second thing is, if you have this willingness to unlearn, right? Mark my words, if you have the willingness to unlearn, when you unlearn, only then you get some room inside your head to learn new stuff. So if you have the willingness to unlearn and learn new stuff, yes, you again get qualified. The third thing is, you have to be passionate. You should have a positive attitude, and you should have highest level of integrity. See, since we are working in the data world, integrity is everything. The moment you start abusing the integrity, people will lose everything on you. They will not even respect you. So even if you fail, you have to go and say that, yes, sir, I have failed. It's okay. It's okay to fail. What is the problem? I will succeed next time. That should be the attitude you're expected to have. But if you start massaging your data and show that, sir, see, I got 97% performance, nobody's going to like you. If you flash those higher numbers, they are going to suspect because it is too good to be true, right? So integrity is everything, right? So if you have these three characteristics, you are welcome to speak to folks like us. The small, medium companies, as one gentleman said before, MSME has wealth of knowledge, right? And there are no takers. I mean, nobody is willing to use them. That is the sad fact. So people like us are willing to welcome you with wide hands, wide open hands, and you are welcome to reach us for internships, for employment, for education, for any kind of collaboration, for collaborative research, joint research, you name it. We are open to that, as long as you have the ability to convert your ideas into software, as long as you have the willingness to unlearn and also learn new stuff, and as long as you are a person of integrity and have a lot of unlimited passion, right? So when you have such qualities, we are going to automatically love you. I don't care whether you're a student or a faculty. I mean, as long as you are a human being with such characteristics, I'm going to love you without even seeing you. And folks like me are also going to do the same thing, because we need people with these characteristics. It's very hard to find people with those characteristics, my friends. And if you are a person of that type, please come to the industry. The industry is willing to welcome you all, right? So, and finally, one final note I want to make. See, people are extremely interested in AI. The moment they get exposed to math, they run away. The moment you ask them to think mathematically, they run away. 99% of the crowd flocks if the moment they have to do mathematics. So my professor used to say 20 years back, see, mathematics is an amazing tool. It allows you to see things that you cannot see with your physical eyes, right? It's an amazing tool. So you should love to learn that tool, because it gives you amazing power to see things which you cannot see with your biological or physical eyes. So math is awesome. Math is beautiful. And the moment you start appreciating it, it's no longer a scary subject. It's no longer a subject of punishment, right? It is something that we should celebrate. Mathematics is something that we should celebrate and be a part of it. And if you are also mathematically interested, I'm sure you will have an amazing life if you take AI as your career. So with that note, I stop here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And as I said before, we are always there welcoming you with wide, warm hands. Please reach to us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Sudarshan. Wonderful. I think you excited the students how they can make money, with artificial intelligence. Please stay tuned for questions, and we'll reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Next we have Rajiv Narayanan, Head of Marketing. Sorry, I have some problem with my battery. Bluetooth device is giving some problem. Hope I'm able to complete this one. Rajiv represents Elite as a global strategist and comes with over 30 years of experience across multiple domains, primarily IT. Experienced in driving revenue, services strategy, delivery process, and customer service partnership with key decision makers in the industry. Rajiv has led and nurtured high-performing cross-cultural teams to deliver business objectives. We are pleased to have you, Rajiv, today. Over to you. You have 10 minutes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope all of you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So before I get started, let me just thank PALS, the people from academia, the students, fellow participants from the industry, and other people. I saw a small appendage called others. So I don't know what others actually represent, but I know I'm telling hi to them as well. So with that, I'll just get started. It's more or less an extempore. You guys have all heard about the bigger companies, the smaller companies, the previous one on AI from Sudarshan. All of them had actually told about the kind of person and people they're looking at, to be part of their group. Essentially, all IT companies look for the same kind of people. So I'm not going to repeat that. So if at all any one of you guys have some of the traits that all the other speakers spoke about. It's the same that applies to Elite as well. So you're welcome with, to Elite with the traits that were already mentioned. Now, coming to Elite, I think I should give a brief introduction to what we do. We are a company about 10 to 12 years in existence. We started in UK, and we specialize only in data management. Okay, and data prevails, it pervades. You can't do anything either historically or today without generating data. And how do you manage data right from its source to where you want to see and how you want to see it is what we do. We are not a very big company. We are about 200 to 225 people strong. We are located in India. Chennai is our headquarters, Bangalore, Pune. We have, for holiday seekers, opened up a branch even in Goa. We have offices, our headquarters global is in the UK, offices in US and Australia. Now, for such a small company, you would all be wondering, hey, how is it that you guys are spread all across? So that comes to the moot, capability issue. So now we focus only on data management. And data management has three components, the data engineering part, the analytics part, of which AI, ML all become a very crucial part. And then finally, the reporting or visualization. How do you want to see the data that gets generated in your company? Okay, that's the last part. So we only focus on this particular area. Now, having focused in this particular area for the past 10, 12 years, our clientele globally has only been Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies till about 3 years back, three or 4 years back. So we have worked with very, very large insurance companies, banking companies, retail, media and entertainment, gaming, and gaming is one big area that we worked with multiple clients, etc., etc. So pretty much we are a global company, very, very focused in the data management space, as well as catering to very, very demanding Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies. 3.5 years back, while we have the largest population of our set of people in India, we started to focus in India as well in terms of seeking Indian customers, translating our expertise, working across global giants to the Indian market. We have been, we have taken some baby steps, I would say, in terms of acquiring a couple of them. We are in the process of executing programs for them, and pretty much therefore, the in thing in whatever is happening around the world on data is what we focus on. So that's about the company. Then I just wanted to talk about the technology that we operate in. So data in data science, you have a lot of technologies. Okay, you have a couple of basic technologies, if you would, where if I were to pick and choose, they are prevalent. But then post that particular area, there are, I would say, more than 200 to maybe 300 applications that can actually do the job. So it is an almost impossible task for anyone to master all of them. But then don't get discouraged, because there are maybe around 10 to 20 of them that rule the roost and actually are part of solutioning per se in a majority of clients' spaces. So we pretty much do a lot of work on cloud and all the other stuff, AI, ML, including data science, etc. So that's about us. Now, let me just talk about the gap. Okay, where do we see the gap? Okay, especially in the context of having interns. We had the opportunity of working with PALS on one program the previous year, the fiscal, wherein we had taken about 10, 12 interns across some colleges. And then we had tried to put use of them through some programs. It didn't actually work out. Okay, now why it didn't work out is something very important. Now, if you look at any industry, I'm not trying to focus only on IT, but if you look at any industry, there are some basic skills at the level of knowledge that lead to experience, that lead to employability. Okay. And it is very, very, very key that US students and faculty members understand, choose these foundation technologies, skills that, as I say, foundation, before you even you start, introducing students on an internship program. Why is it important? Okay. An intern spends six months, and if he actually spends about 3 months, learning the basic skills, he loses the objective of where he can actually use the basic skills properly from an experience and employability perspective. So it is very, very important that you identify for the students what are the basic skills that a particular industry would actually require. I'm pretty sure if such a focus is actually made available at the college levels, perhaps introduced through participation from the industry as well as from training institutes from the third year of the curriculum, there would be a lot of difference in the quality of people that will come out, the quality of programs that they can actually participate in, and obviously the results that they will achieve in 6 months in taking home, not only good guidance in terms of where the particular skill that they acquired in the past 6 months of association with an industry can be taken to, but even in terms of being aware of the trends that are available in the industry, focused primarily on marking the path towards a successful career. So this is on the gap.
Sorry to interrupt, Rajiv. Just one more minute.
Oh, sure. I was just going to conclude. The last point is on what we can do, what Elite can do to support. We are extremely keen to leverage our association with PALS to work closely with the industry primarily to identify data-related problems, maybe develop a cache of it, maybe around 20 odd or 30 odd problems. Sector doesn't matter. It be it manufacturing, retail, finance, it doesn't matter. We can sit with industry along with the PALS facilitators, identify problems, take the problems and go and meet the faculty members in the academia and help them chart programs that can help students identify specific opportunities that they would like to be part of from a live interactions perspective. I think this practical hands-on is something, preparatory hands-on is something, which will go to a large extent to benefit the students as well as, aspirants of, intern aspirants amongst a lot of students that you have. Once again, I conclude, welcome all of you to Elite, should you choose to. As mentioned at the beginning, the skills, the soft skills, the hard skills that we look at are the same that the industry looks at. And, we will be there to guide you if you possess at least some of them. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rajiv. That is very wonderful. You started with, multiple industry like gaming, entertainment, retail where data science can play a role. And ending your note also with, painting a broad brush picture of how, different industry can engage and how Elite can help. Thank you so much. And you were also candid in saying, how the internship program didn't work because lack of foundation skills on how it can be addressed. Thank you so much. Please stay tuned. I apologize that we are at the top of the hour. We are close to 12:30, and we'll need another 15 minutes more for hearing the audience. So far we heard all the eminent speakers. We need to give some time for speakers as well. Before that, it's a time again for quiz. Over to you, Bharani and Sujata. Can you please kick off quiz quickly, and we can also conclude. Over to you, Bharani.
Yeah. As Bharani is putting the Slido quiz, I would request the participants to be ready with their questions. In the respect of time, I think, we can quickly ask rather than posting it on the chat box. Meanwhile, I'll also see what questions that came in the past that has not been answered during the course of the presentation that we should take up. Go ahead, Bharani.
Okay. Yeah. Please request you to go back to your Slido screens. The next question is coming up. We heard at this session today, what is the FDI flow in the last 7 years? So those who remember can type in the numbers.
This is a test of attentiveness, I suppose. $375 from Arivamani Ravanan sir from KIT also. He's posted it in the chat box.
Yeah. And I see some of the 375 also here. Okay, I think it was merely to test your attentiveness. We'll go to the next question, which is more relevant for the students especially. So what is your choice of industry for the internship? Please give your thoughts on it.
Sir Kannapiran sir, you need to click on the link that was shared by Bharani earlier. I can paste it.
Even now I have shared it. I put it in the chat box. You can see the link in the chat box.
No, we can't, Bharani.
Why? Okay, I think I forgot to put it. Yeah, please use this link and yeah, I'm putting the link again in the chat box.
Yeah. Interesting, no? We are seeing core engineering as a preferred industry.
This is very interesting and I think very encouraging as well.
We expected it the other way around, actually.
Yeah, I think we would like to have at least 200 response. We have more people actually on the.
I think this is more important, and we also to move on to Q&A.
Yeah, I'll go to the next question. What are your priorities, expectation during the internship? Okay, is it something? What do you think about your stipend? What kind of monetary expectations you have?
once we reach about 100 responses, probably we can stop. You can see the probably standard, distribution of responses.
Okay, I think we have crossed that.
We are close to 1 and 2.
Yeah,
so learning is important, as well as an employment after internship is also equally important.
Okay, good. I'll move to the next one, the final one. Okay, what is your desire in the mode of internship? Whether you like an online virtual internship or you want to be physically present in the workplace?
This is even minus the COVID conditions.
Yeah.
The clean sweep.
Because with COVID, I think we won't, there is no preference. There is only one choice.
Yeah. Yes, expecting the situation will get better.
Yeah, I think people are bold to go to workplace and work there physically.
Yeah, everybody wants to go to, 90% wants to work in the office.
That's very good.
Good.
Very good.
That's a very good. Thank you all for your feedback. I'm done with the Slido. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharani, Sujata, for this quick one. I think we'll spend another 10 minutes. We are about 12:37. We'll go on till 12:47 for Q&A if there are any questions.
Sorry, there are a few questions posted in Slido also. So when you answer, I can pass it on.
Right.
So I have shared the questions that came from the registration. Some of the questions we have been answered with the course of our presentation. I've just made a few of them bold, like a question on, what is the growth path in the core industry? What is the scope for core industry? So probably somebody from the core group can try and answer that.
Can I take that question?
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. See, in fact, I touched upon during my presentation, like as I said, the manufacturing sector, the core engineering sector, is pegged at about $300 billion industry. And it is again growing at a much faster pace, because what happens is now it has become a global trend. It is not only India, which is a market space. Now we have space. We are cutting across borders and we are having a large space to market our products. Therefore, I'm very sure, like I explained, auto component itself is about $50 billion market. Like auto component, we have another 23 fields which are coming under core industry sector, by national industrial classification. Therefore, I'm very sure there is ample abundance opportunity exists for the core engineering industry. So we need not really worry about or compare with the software or other industry. Core industry has its own strength and it is about to grow on its own.
Thank you, sir. There is a question on, I'll combine it on developing, honing the entrepreneurial skills and skill development. How does industries help the academia? Would anybody like to take that? How would industries help on honing skill development of students or building their entrepreneurial skills?
Okay, let me take that, because before big industry, I was an entrepreneur. So I think it's not something which we get fully from industry. Entrepreneurial skills are predominantly self-developed, and it's very, very context specific. So it's not a standard template that you get. So the way I did my dye engineering business was very different from the way I did my IT business. But one important learning that you can have, or one very important strength that you can gain by interacting with industry, is to understand how industry organizations work so that you can sell better to them if they are your customer. There are also a lot of best practices which does not require a large organization, but industries have developed and implemented them. So those best practices can be adopted after your basic venture starts. But I would, from my experience, I would expect to learn very, very limited amount by working with industry or attending courses. I think entrepreneurial skills are very context specific, and we will need to think it's more about emotional strength than about skills. And I think that's the fundamental thing, and the industry doesn't teach you emotional strength. So I hope that answered the question.
Thank you, Mr. Karthik. A very generic question. I mean, what is the exact requirement for an industry to get placed? Is it attitude, skill, knowledge, or combination? And what proportions which of it will get an edge or whatever is, that is a question that one of the participants has asked. Very generic question.
I'll take this question.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, sure.
See, it's like, it depends on the role in which you're applying for. And as recruiter in the past, I look forward to attitude, because you bring in knowledge and you should have the attitude to convert it into skill and apply in your job. If you don't have that right attitude, then it's an problem at the workplace. Then in terms of proportions, it depends on at the individual contributor level or at first-time manager level, your functional domain expertise is expected to be at a higher level, followed by when you groom as managers and senior manager level, then you are expected to, meaning it is assumed that you have that functional domain expertise, and your leadership managerial ability should be automatically be on the higher side. So it goes like that.
Thank you, Venkat. Sujata, somebody called Gopinath wanted to be unmuted.
Yeah, I have asked him to be I did tell him. Gopinath, sure. Can you unmute yourself? He was unmuted all this while and he is muted again.
Okay, so I think maybe one or two more questions. I think we're close to 12:45.
And this was a question to Sudarshan from Buddy. Sir, what are the various criteria internship available for Buddy?
See, before that, madam, can I add some points onto the previous question?
Yeah, please welcome. You're most welcome.
Okay. See, I'll ask a counter question to you. Let's say you go to a restaurant, a normal tiffin center, and you see that there are cooks, right? What is it required to become a cook? Can you answer that question? Probably yes. Why? Because you understand the job description thoroughly. You understand the acceptance criteria thoroughly. You understand the quality metrics thoroughly, right? So the moment you understand the job description, the moment you understand what you are expected to deliver, at what level of quality, and how are you going to be measured, then you will know the answer yourself. You don't have to ask it to anybody. So I think before asking such a question, start understanding the job description. Start understanding the company which gave you that job description, and that will make it self-explanatory. So that would be an objective way of looking at answering that question. Right. So to answer the other question about internships, see, we don't have any hard and fast rules for internships. See, as I mentioned during my presentation, if you have the ability to convert your ideas into software, basically I'm saying you should be fluent in representing your ideas into working software, right? And without that, we don't have any role for you. We expect everyone to be self-sustaining, right? Including the scientists that we have. Our PhDs sit down and code. Otherwise, how will they communicate their ideas to others? So if you have that characteristics already, great. Secondly, if you have the willingness to unlearn, if you come with a lot of premeditated ideas, then it is impossible for us to train you. So you should have that willingness to unlearn whatever you have learned so far, and you have the willingness to take the risk in learning new things. So unlearn and learn at the same time. And third one, as several patrons mentioned, you have to have this positive attitude. You should have this passion, I would say craving for knowledge, and finally integrity. That is everything for us, right? If you have all of this, then you are automatically eligible to take up an internship with us. The only condition that we put forth is your length of internship, because we tried at different lengths, 1 month, half month, 3 months, none of it converted very well. All the ones which are semester long or year long have all phenomenally converted. See, conversion I mean is we were happy to extend a job offer to them without even them asking us. Right? We converted all the internships for 6 months and more into PPOs. All of it, 100% hit. So the longer the time you spend with an industry, see, I'm representing the AI research industry. This number could be different for different industries. So for AI research, it takes 3 months for you to boot up, to understand the practices, and another 3 months to establish yourself as a resource. So minimum of a semester long internship is what I look for. And we welcome both the students community and the faculty community to come and approach us for a semester long internship. And this is a paid internship. I mean, we pay a stipend, a reasonable stipend for the stipend for the long-term internships. So that's about it. Thank you.
I think we can move on to next part of the event. I think it's close to 12:50
Sure.
now, right? I think we should be respectful. Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead, Sid.
Yeah, thanks a lot for all the speakers. I think we'll get the questions answered by the speakers, and we'll share. We always find it challenging to in a virtual thing adhere to the timeline. We sincerely apologize to all the speakers. I'm sure you have a lot of things lined up, and thank you very much. And back to you, Sujata, to move on to the next part of the event.
Yeah, since you want to summarize, or should we go ahead with the final?
Yeah, I think I have been summarizing at the end of every speaker. I don't want to take too much time. We'll send a note at the end as to what have been the takeaways. Let's just close the session, with the word of thanks.
Sure. So Gopinath, I see your question. We will get back to you. Purnima had to log off the session because she had another appointment. So on the IBM initiative, we will get back to you after duly consulting her. And the other question also from Venkat Swati, we will get in touch with you for that. I now request Mr. Arun Dev from the PALS team to please give the vote of thanks for the session.
Thank you, Sujata. So good afternoon, everyone. That was a very absorbing session that we had. As usual with PALS programs, we generally tend to extend it more because of the involvement of these sessions. So I would like to personally thank, starting with Mr. M.S. Srinivasan, for sharing what are the internship opportunities in IIT Madras. Also, in all the speakers, there are key takeaways that I can talk about. And one of the big things that I wrote there was Professor Anand's description of an engineer who makes stuff that God forgot. I think it is useful for students to keep this in mind, that when you're studying engineering, there is something that you're going to do. And this is something that could be used as a guidance. Also, thank you to Mr. Karthik Atmanathan. Given your varied background and experiences from an entrepreneur through IT into large organizations, you have brought out very clearly one of the different aspects that Ashok is doing with faculty and one of the projects they are supporting. And also a key takeaway from your talk is about what is expected from industry, and something that is a common thread throughout the session from all the speakers. Attitude and passion will have knowledge for breakfast. That is something we expect our students and faculty to take away from these sessions. Attitude and passion are by far the biggest things that will take you further. Please learn, research, and prepare. That was another very key thing that he said. We see a lot of students who come up
ill-prepared in our discussions. I think it will be useful for you to inculcate that habit and that discipline. I'd like to thank Mr. Venkat Subramaniam and Mr. Kannan Shekhar for sharing the TI Group's vision, growth, and spread of industries and markets that they address, and also the interest in providing internship in the core area, which we saw in the Slido quiz as something which very interests students a lot. I'll thank you to Purnima Iyengar of IBM to spare some time today and describe the various engagements that IBM has for academy and what is the way forward. She has also since shared the links for academia. I hope all our faculty and students have been able to sort of take them on board. Mr. Vasant Sampath, again from Vista Digital Corporation, thank you for describing what's the company doing and how is the focus and what is expected in internships, the ability to learn, the ability to understand theory, and understanding applying theory to practice. And again, a common thing about work ethic in terms of commitment, integrity, and discipline, as well as the passion for excellence. Again, passion comes through very strongly. Mr. Sudarshan Santyapan, he again captured this when he answered one of the questions towards the end. That is the ability to convert your idea into a program, willingness to unlearn, and being positive, passionate, and integrative. And finally, Mr. Rajiv Narayanan, thank you very much for describing the focus area of Elite IT technologies in terms of data management and the different areas that you work in. I think a very key area that you shared, and it's very important students and faculty equip this, is to admit to failure. If something did not work, there's no point in padding it up. I think that came up from Sudarshan as well. It is important to be straightforward, accept the failure, and then work towards its improvement. So there's a whole lot of learnings apart from the technology and other aspects that was shared today. Thank you very much for the time taken today to share it on a Saturday. I'd like to thank all the faculty members and partners of our partner institutes and the students for taking time. I hope it was very useful in your preparing or in your guidance towards the future. And lastly, thank you to the PMO team and the PALS core team for putting this whole program together, especially CSE and Mr. Ravi Venkatraman. Your passion and interest in getting this going was very infectious for the rest of the team as well. So thank you very much. Back to you, Sujata.
Thank you all. I have posted the feedback link. So as mentioned earlier, registration, attendance, and feedback is important. Kindly mark your entries in all the 3 forms. It is important for us. And thanks to all the speakers who have spared their Saturday morning to a PALS event. Thank you all. Stay safe. Good day.
Have a nice weekend, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good day.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, PALS.
Good day, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, PM.
CNC, can I? It looks like the feedback form is just a data collection form.
Yeah. We'll share with you.
Not for